George Clooney, Hollywood's reigning king, boasts a net worth over $500 million, living in stunning villas by Lake Como and in Provence, where every glass of wine costs as much as a luxury car. But behind those lavish gates, one night, a stranger broke into the wine cellar at Villa Oleandra. Was he after rare vintages or secrets George keeps under lock and key? A man with wealth, fame, and love. Why does he still hide behind marble walls and bolted gates? Is this empire of extravagance a reward for an extraordinary journey, or is it masking a secret even Hollywood hasn't dared to uncover? Let's dive into the story behind George Clooney and find the answers ourselves. Don't look away, because the biggest surprise is still ahead. Before ER turned George Clooney into a star, he was just a Kentucky guy getting doors slammed in his face by Hollywood, time and again. Rumors say he slept in his car, shivering through hungry nights to cling to his dream. But some whisper it was all an act to cover up failure. Was George really that down and out, or was the car story just a PR stunt? George was born on May 6, 1961, into a family with a touch of fame. His mother, a state pageant queen, his father, a TV broadcaster, and his aunt, the renowned singer Rosemary Clooney. But that glow was just backdrop. George had to carve his own path. His childhood revolved around church, Catholic school, and years as an altar boy. As a teenager, he was hit with Bell's palsy, temporarily paralyzing half his face. "I learned to laugh at hardship," he said, and that crooked smile later became part of his trademark charm. George's first dream wasn't Hollywood, it was the baseball field in 1977. He tried out for the Cincinnati Reds but got cut in the first round. That blow threw him off track and unexpectedly steered him toward acting. Before his first role, George worked odd jobs selling women's shoes, hauling cement, cutting tobacco, peddling insurance. "I was lousy at those, but I could tell a story," he joked. That knack kept him in Los Angeles. There's a famous tale George supposedly slept in his car right in the yard of his Aunt Rosemary's Beverly Hills mansion. It's been painted as a symbol of his rags-to-riches journey, but if his aunt had a mansion, why not sleep inside? Some say George refused to lean on family. Others think it's an embellished tale. Whatever the truth, the mystery keeps people curious. George studied broadcast journalism at Northern Kentucky University but dropped out to pursue acting. His early years in LA brought only bit parts in The Facts of Life or Centennial. Each rejection stung, but he told himself, just one break. That break came in 1984 with a role in the sitcom ER. It wasn't big, but it got his foot in Hollywood's door. From cutting tobacco under Kentucky's sun to this, George began a journey no one could have predicted, one you'll want to follow to the very end. From cutting tobacco in Kentucky, living through rumors of sleeping in a car at his Aunt Rosemary's, George Clooney carried his grit to Los Angeles in the 1980s. He was a nobody actor, drifting through The Facts of Life, Roseanne, or the Golden Girls with curly hair no one remembered. But in 1994, when he slipped into Dr. Doug Ross's Scrubs in ER, George made the world turn its head. His killer smile turned him into a star, lifting him from struggling days to the spotlight. But behind the glamour, whispers of jealousy, a hidden enemy in the industry, and backstage secrets make you wonder, what did George sacrifice to shine? Hollywood didn't roll out the red carpet for George, he once quipped. "I got rejected so much I could teach a masterclass on failing." Roles in Grizzly 2, The Predator, or Return of the Killer Tomatoes were forgettable footprints, but with the tenacity from his odd job days, George knew how to catch a director's eye, even with just a glance. His shot came with the sitcom ER in 1984, not the blockbuster ER, but a small show that got him into TV. Even if he was still just a background guy, ER changed everything. As Dr. Doug Ross, with that heart-stopping smile, George became the focal point across 109 episodes, earning 2 Emmy nominations and 3 Golden Globe nods. That success led him buy his first villa in Studio City, a lively Los Angeles neighborhood where stars gather, just steps from Hollywood studios. But why Studio City? With its sky-high home prices and prying eyes, a smart move to stay close to the industry. Or did his Aunt Rosemary, who'd sheltered him in tough times, have a hand in its success? It turns out, isn't just spotlights. Backstage at ER, tensions brewed. Colleagues muttered George stole the show. One crew member said, he walks in and the room only sees him. Worse. Rumors swirled of a hidden enemy, an actor or director quietly spreading bad press. Were the rumors true? George just flashed his smile, the kind of grin that survived Hollywood's jungle. Despite the drama, ER opened doors to film From Dusk Till Dawn, Out of Sight, and Batman and Robin panned, but it showed he'd take risks. Failure's a friend if you're not scared of it, he said. From bit parts to center stage, George proved Hollywood needs grit, but the whispers of enemies. The jealous glances, were they hints of bigger secrets waiting in his million-dollar villas? ER turned George Clooney from a nobody to a star, pocketing tens of millions of dollars and diving into Hollywood's lavish lifestyle. But how did a guy who may have slept in his car rise to live like royalty, and what's lurking behind that story with an estimated net worth of $500 million? From ER to Ocean's 11, George owns palatial villas Studio City in Los Angeles, Villa Oleandra by Lake Como, Italy, and Domaine du Canadel in Provence, France. These places dazzle with crystal chandeliers, ancient wine cellars, and locked rooms rumored to hold secrets. In 2014, a trespasser broke into Villa Oleandra's wine cellar. Was he after rare bottles or something else? Like a hidden film contract, does George's massive wealth tie to whispers of a mysterious payout? And why are those gates always locked tight, as if guarding something bigger than fame? The Studio City Villa marked George's first big win, bought from Stevie Nicks for $2.2 million during ER's peak. The 7,000-square-foot masterpiece boasts hand-carved ceilings, an Italian stone fireplace, and a dining room with a glass wall displaying hundreds of Romani Conti wine bottles, each worth a luxury car. The outdoor pool, lined with marble, glows with color-changing LED lights under the moonlight, like a jewel in the estate. Next to a home theater with handcrafted Poltrona Frau leather seats from Italy, each costing as much as a car, and a cutting-edge 3D system that feels like a Dolby Cinema. But the standout is the Playhouse, a separate building, George added. Rumored to host star-studded parties with Matt Damon or secret script-writing sessions. Whispers say a hidden safe in the Playhouse holds film contracts or million-dollar ideas George hasn't revealed. This is home, he jokes, but his eyes hint at more. From scraping by, maybe sleeping in a car, to this villa, George lives like a king, but that's safe, if it exists. What's it hiding? Villa Oleandra, bought in 2002 for $7 million, is a gem by Lake Como. This 18th-century estate has 25 rooms, polished rosewood interiors, Venetian crystal chandeliers, and hand-painted wall murals tracing Italian history. The wide balcony overlooks the Emerald Lake, where George sips wine, watching sunsets, an infinity pool, a marble-lined tennis court, and a garage housing vintage motorcycles nearly fatal in a 2018 crash make this a palace. George hosted Barack Obama, Meghan Markle, and filmed Ocean's 12 here. But in 2014, an intruder scaled the walls, sneaking into the cellar stocked with thousands of rare wines. From Chateau Petrus to Lafite Rothschild, was he just tasting wine, or hunting a diary, a film deal? Or something George once buried? Rumors he nearly sold the villa over paparazzi intrusion fuel curiosity. What's this place hiding that he still keeps it? Especially since it's where he met them all. Domaine du Canadel, bought in 2021 for $8.3 million, is peak luxury. The 10,000-square-foot villa flaunts a living room with a one-of-a-kind Picasso painting worth millions, white Carrara marble floors, and a walnut library with rare leather-bound books, endless vineyards, a 72-foot pool shimmering among ancient olive groves, and a greenhouse for rare flowers make it a painting come to life. Whispers say George aims to build a wine empire, rivaling Brad Pitt's nearby Chateau Miraval. But more intriguing is talk of a locked third-floor room, rumored to hold plans for a secret film project, maybe his legacy work. "I seek quiet," he says, but his smile hints at bigger ambitions. From facing ER's backstage jealousy and whispers of a hidden enemy, George is now Hollywood's king, living in million-dollar palaces. But do those grand gates hide more than luxury? And when Amal entered his life, is she the only one holding the key to those secrets? Hollywood dubbed George Clooney the charming bachelor, partying in Studio City's villa, riding vintage bikes at Villa Oleandra, and living like royalty under ER's lights. But in 2013, one woman changed it all. Amal Alamuddin, a human rights lawyer with sleek black hair and piercing eyes, didn't just enter his life, she turned those lavish palaces into a home. How did a guy who swore off marriage end up on one knee? Did Amal really turn him down multiple times, as rumors claim, and in those opulent rooms, from wine cellars to libraries, is Amal holding secrets bigger than George's empire? Picture Villa Oleandra, its crystal chandeliers twinkling, infinity pool mirroring Lake Como's sunset. One evening in 2013, Amal arrived with a friend, just before heading to the Cannes Film Festival. George, who'd faced ER's backstage envy and a wine cellar intruder, was instantly smitten. "I knew she was different," he said, his joking tone betrayed by a glint in his eyes. But Hollywood whispers a different tale. Amal, with her stellar career, rebuffed George not once but several times. She wanted no part of the paparazzi world that nearly drove George to sell Villa Oleandra after the 2014 break-in. Is that true? Or just a story to polish a perfect romance? George just grins. But that sly smirk suggests a longer tale. Their 2014 wedding at Venice's Amman Canal Grande was a lavish dream. Guests glided on gondolas through a 16th century palace, sipping Chateau Margaux from crystal glasses. Amal, radiant in an Oscar de la Renta gown, walked beside George, who shed his bachelor crown. They turned villas into homes. Studio City, with its Romani Conti wine wall and 3D leather-seated theater, is now where their twins, Ella and Alexander, born in 2017, play. Villa Oleandra, with its marble tennis court and lakeview balcony, is their summer retreat, where George teaches the kids to bike under moonlight. Domaine du Canadel, with its leather-bound library and sprawling vineyards, hosts family gatherings by the 72-foot pool and rare flower greenhouse. Each villa is a chapter in their love story, but luxury always carries mystery. Amal isn't just a wife. Rumors say she's the brains behind the Clooney Foundation for Justice, steering million-dollar charity projects and deals George never publicizes. Some old friends, who partied in Studio City's Playhouse, feel sidelined. Is Amal running his empire, or is that jealousy from those no longer invited? More shocking are whispers. Amal found an old notebook in Villa Oleandra's wine cellar not tied to the 2014 intruder, but something George hid from his ER days. What's in it? Notes on a failed film project or a list of hidden enemies who spread bad press Amal's never spoken. But her knowing smile suggests she knows more than she lets on. George is now a devoted dad, a happy husband, living in dazzling palaces. But Hollywood's glow isn't all light. Criticisms, shadows from the past, lurk, ready to reveal a George even Amal might not fully know. Do lavish villas, Mediterranean yachts, and Patek Philippe watches make George Clooney perfect? Or are they just a facade for hidden flaws? Who was the uninvited guest who stirred trouble at Lake Como, and when people call him fake? Are secrets from his ER days resurfacing, threatening his luxurious empire? George lives like royalty at Villa Oleandra. He throws late-night parties that leave Hollywood envious. Chateau Petrus wine flows like a river. Fireworks dazzle over Lake Como, and a live jazz band plays under twinkling crystal chandeliers. The guest list is pure A-list: Matt Damon, billionaire Randy Gerber, even Barack Obama. When he's not at Lake Como, George and Amal jet privately to Paris, staying in the royal suite at Hotel George V with windows framing the Eiffel Tower. They sail Mediterranean yachts, sipping cocktails at sunset while paparazzi snap from a distance. His vintage motorcycle collection, nearly fatal in a 2018 crash, sits in Studio City's garage. Alongside Patek Philippe watches worth a condo. Rumors say George secretly spent millions at Sotheby's for a Basquiat painting, now hanging in Domaine du Canadel's library. But was it to cover up another mysterious expense? "I like beautiful things," he jokes. But his eyes seem to hide another story. But a lavish lifestyle comes with controversy. Some folks call George fake, claiming his parties and charity work are just image polishing. Whispers tell of a 2015 party at Villa Oleandra interrupted by an uninvited guest, not the 2014 wine cellar intruder, but someone rumored to be linked to a hidden enemy from his ER days. Did this person show up to cause a scene or expose a secret? Some say George sank big money into an unpublicized film project, stashed in a safe in Studio City's Playhouse, that flopped and was hushed up. Could the Basquiat purchase be masking another secret payout? Like funding a political lawsuit, George never responds. Just flashes that smile, the one that outshone his co-stars. The pressure of this lifestyle isn't small. Paparazzi tail their yacht, forcing George and Amal to ramp up security at every villa. The 2018 motorcycle crash in Italy, when George collided with a car, was a wake-up call. Vintage bikes aren't just a hobby, they're a risk. The public started grumbling, why spend on yachts and parties instead of films? An online article once asked, is George living too extravagantly to hide something like that mysterious notebook Amal supposedly found in Villa Oleandra, if it exists? This notebook might hold notes on a role he lost due to a clash with a big director, or a list of those who spread bad press about him. Amal, with her sharp gaze, seems to know but stays silent. Despite the criticism, George stands firm, just as he overcame backstage jealousy and his hard-scrabble days in Kentucky. The lavish life parties to yachts is his reward for a long journey, but as the spotlight fades, will these shadows lead to a greater legacy, or just add fuel to the critics' fire? Could the Clooney Foundation for Justice, or a final film project, be the answer to it all? George Clooney has lived a life many dream of, from cutting tobacco in Kentucky, overcoming ER's backstage envy, owning dazzling villas by Lake Como, to finding love with Amal amid lavish parties. But Hollywood's glare, with paparazzi and fake accusations, doesn't define him. George is more a star, director, philanthropist, and a man leaving a lasting mark. Is he quietly crafting a legacy work, and those rumored secret donations, possibly stashed in Studio City's safe, are they the key to his legacy? Recall ER's Spotlight, where George became a star. But film is where he truly shined. Ocean's 11 in 2001 made him a style icon, with a smile that melted audiences. Syriana in 2005 won him a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, proving he's more than a pretty face. Good Night and Good Luck in 2005, which he directed, earned 6 Oscar nominations, cementing him as a serious filmmaker. I want to tell stories that matter, he said, his joking tone laced with resolve. From The Descendants in 2011 to Gravity in 2013 with Sandra Bullock, he keeps pushing himself. But rumors say George is planning a final film, a legacy work possibly written in Domaine du Canadel's locked room, under that Picasso. What is it? A political drama? Or a personal tale tied to the mysterious notebook Amal supposedly found in Villa Oleandra? George just smiles, like he did to ER's Whispers. Beyond the screen, George's legacy lies in philanthropy. The Clooney Foundation for Justice, founded with Amal, fights for refugees, human rights, and global justice. They've donated millions, from lavish Villa Oleandra galas where fireworks lit Lake Como to quiet Studio City auctions. But whispers say a massive, unpublicized donation was sent from the Playhouse safe. Did George fund a secret lawsuit against a powerful group? Or aid a forgotten community? Some old friends, jealous of Amal's influence, claim it ties to an ER-era enemy who tried to tarnish him. Where's the truth? Amal, with her piercing eyes, seems to know but stays mum. George has built ties with heavyweights Barack Obama, Meghan Markle, and Randa Gerber, who partied with him on Mediterranean yachts. These aren't just glitz, they're bridges to his legacy. In 2018, he received the AFI Life Achievement Award, honoring a stellar career. But he's not done. The Midnight Sky in 2020, which he directed and starred in, shows his passion still burns. Rumors swirl he's prepping a final project, possibly filmed at Domaine du Canadel, with its vineyards and 72-foot pool as backdrop. Is it tied to that Villa Oleandra notebook, or a response to fake critics? George Clooney isn't just a star, he's a storyteller, rising from Kentucky's struggles, navigating envy and pressure, to build a family and enduring legacy. But the secrets from Studio City's safe to his final film, are they the last pieces of his puzzle? Or will his legacy remain a question, like the enigmatic smile he gives the world?